as above, so below, as within, so without. This timeless Hermetic principle, articulated in the verses of the Emerald Tablet, encourages us to peer beyond the surface, revealing that the microcosm and the macrocosm are not distinct realms, but rather two expressions of the same universal essence. The very intelligence that shapes the stars also structures the atoms within us. Today, we will delve into the profound meaning of this universal law, examining how it intertwines with modern scientific discoveries and the age-old wisdom of mystics and philosophers across the ages. Together, we will uncover how this concept can be integrated into our lives, empowering us to grow into more fulfilled and mindful individuals. This concept, referred to as the principle of correspondence, asserts that reality across all its dimensions is organized in a fractal manner. This Hermetic teaching proposes that everything in existence is interconnected and that each part of the whole reflects the entirety. For instance, the cells within our bodies contain the same genetic blueprint that defines the entire organism, making each cell, in essence, a miniature representation of the body. Similarly, the motion of galaxies mirrors the behavior of atoms and electrons within their cores, demonstrating that universal laws remain constant, whether at cosmic or subatomic levels. The principle of correspondence invites us to perceive the universe as a vast reflection. To truly understand reality, one must first turn inward and observe oneself. Just as the macrocosm influences the microcosm, our internal state shapes the external world around us. In this realization lies a profound insight. By transforming our inner world, we simultaneously transform the outer world. From a spiritual viewpoint, the phrase "as above, so below" brings us to a profound realization of the interconnectedness of all things. In his teachings, Jesus Christ shared the wisdom, "The kingdom of God is within you." Luke 17:21. Just as the universe holds the potential for everything within its vastness, the human being, within their inner microcosm, carries the essence of the divine. The human mind serves as both an observer of the cosmos and a creation of it. In the same way that the universal whole manifests itself within every atom, the human being reflects the entirety of the cosmos. Jesus' Hermetic teachings express the idea that every individual is a microcosm, a small universe that, as it grows and evolves, aligns with and harmonizes with the greater universe. This understanding underscores the immense responsibility of nurturing our minds, thoughts, and emotions. By doing so, we not only transform our inner selves, but also influence the world around us. The philosopher Plotinus stated, "The more a man understands himself, the more he comprehends the universe and all that lies beyond it." This insight mirrors the Hermetic belief that in order to grasp the nature of the cosmos, one must first uncover the universe within themselves. Spiritual teachings emphasize that our inner state, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs functions as a filter through which we perceive the external world. A peaceful mind views the world through the lens of harmony, while an unsettled mind sees chaos and discord in its surroundings. This wisdom reveals that the separation we often perceive between ourselves and others, or between humanity and the cosmos, is an illusion. In truth, we are integral parts of a unified whole, and the events within us are in perpetual interaction with what transpires outside. Therefore, by transforming our internal world, we reshape our connection with the external one. For mystics, understanding "as above, so below" means realizing that everything present in the cosmos also resides as potential within us. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist and expert in symbolism, frequently referenced on this channel, explained that the personal unconscious of an individual is a mirror of the collective unconscious, a deep reservoir of symbols, ideas, and archetypes that influence how we interpret and experience life. Just as the universe is in constant flux and evolution, the inner world of each person is alive and ever-changing. By delving into this inner universe, individuals uncover facets of themselves and connect with archetypal forces and universal truths that are integral to the cosmos as a whole. The spiritual path, therefore, is a journey back to the universal center that resides within each of us. Just as the axiom, "as above, so below," emphasizes the parallel between the macrocosm and the microcosm, it also implies a unity between spirit and matter, between existence and action. between the inner world and the outer world. Paracelsus, a revered alchemist and natural philosopher, declared that understanding oneself is the foundation for understanding everything else. For alchemists, the ultimate purpose of self-awareness is achieving oneness with the entire universe. By transmuting our inner lead, our fears, doubts, and limitations into gold wisdom, serenity, and self-mastery, we align with the divine flow of the cosmos. This process is akin to spiritual alchemy, the work of reconciling the higher with the lower, and perceiving matter and spirit as two aspects of the same essence. The principle of correspondence encourages us to perceive the universe as a series of interrelated layers and dimensions that reflect one another. It implies a deep interconnection between various planes of existence, where events on one level find echoes, parallels, or resonances on another. In the interplay between spirit and matter, this Hermetic principle reveals that spirit and matter, though seemingly contrasting, are actually reflections of the same fundamental truth. The physical realm we experience is a manifestation of forces, ideas, and principles operating on the spiritual level. Matter can be seen as the shadow or tangible expression of the subtle energies and laws of the spirit. From this perspective, spirit represents the origin or causative plane from which all ideas and energies arise. Matter, in turn, becomes the mirror of this origin. True alchemy lies in the fusion of the spiritual realm with material existence, recognizing that every facet of our physical reality has a spiritual counterpart, and that every spiritual experience can find expression in the material world. This understanding implies that the pursuit of purpose and meaning, often associated with the spiritual domain, must also be reflected in tangible, everyday actions. By nurturing the spirit through practices like meditation and self-reflection, we simultaneously lay the groundwork for a more enriched and meaningful material existence. Ultimately, the principle of correspondence teaches us that the division between spirit and matter is, at its core, an illusion born from our limited perception. Both are manifestations of the same universal essence. Just as light disperses into a spectrum of colors through a prism, spirit materializes as matter without losing its fundamental nature. This perspective brings profound spiritual liberation, as it allows us to see that by fully embracing the physical plane and cherishing life, we are also honoring the spirit. The goal of the spiritual path, therefore, is not to reject or escape matter but to transcend it, understanding it as a reflection of spirit in motion. The Hermetic adage, "As above, so below," transcends mere philosophical or mystical speculation. It is also observable in the natural world. In examining the universe, we see that structures and principles evident on small scales replicate themselves in grander dimensions. This correspondence between the microcosm and the macrocosm is not simply symbolic. It is embedded in the foundational patterns that govern matter and energy. A striking example of this principle in nature is the phenomenon of fractals. Fractals are patterns that replicate themselves at varying scales and can be observed in both microscopic details and immense structures. The geometry of nature demonstrates that the same organizational principles governing the vast cosmos also shape the minutiae of the natural world. Consider the spiral design of a nautilus shell, which mirrors the shape of a spiral galaxy. The same Fibonacci sequence that dictates the arrangement of a flower's petals also structures the arms of galaxies. The principle of "as above, so below" is vividly illustrated in these recurring patterns, revealing that nature operates according to a universal order. This mathematical symmetry, often referred to as sacred geometry, is a language of the universe that underpins everything from the motion of subatomic particles to the growth of plants and the formation of galaxies. Nature operates through cycles that mirror one another, from the smallest organisms to the vastest ecosystems. The cycle of life, birth, growth, death, and renewal is a universal pattern. Just as the seasons change in perpetual rotation, all living beings experience their own cycles. In the human body, for instance, the circulatory system serves as a microcosm of Earth's water cycle. Just as rivers flow into oceans, blood travels to the heart and is then distributed throughout the body, nourishing and connecting every part. Both systems reflect the same principle of flow and return, demonstrating that the macrocosm, Earth, and the microcosm, humanity, are governed by the same underlying intelligence. This correspondence is also evident in the cycles of sleep and wakefulness, cellular activity and planetary motion, underscoring that the principle of correspondence is intrinsic to all processes of life. Another compelling example of as above, so below is the similarity between the structure of atoms and solar systems. The nucleus of an atom, surrounded by orbiting electrons, closely resembles the Sun encircled by its planets. This resemblance has led scientists and mystics alike to propose that the universe operates on a repetitive, holographic model, with the same pattern recurring at subatomic and cosmic levels. This analogy points to a universe characterized by order, where the microcosm and macrocosm reflect one another. Pythagoras, the philosopher and mathematician, asserted that numbers are the foundation of all things, suggesting that reality is structured by mathematical and geometric principles that apply to both galaxies and subatomic particles. In the realm of consciousness, physicist David Bohm, a collaborator of Albert Einstein, introduced the concept of an implicate order. He proposed that reality is not composed of isolated fragments but is an indivisible whole, where each part reflects the entirety, akin to a hologram. This notion aligns with the idea that each fragment of the universe contains the blueprint of the whole, reaffirming that events on one level of reality influence others. Benoit Mandelbrot, the mathematician who pioneered the study of fractals, demonstrated that these patterns are a universal feature of various systems. From this fractal perspective, every small component appears as a scaled-down version of the whole. Thus, as above so below is not merely a metaphor, but an observable truth woven into the very fabric of the natural world. The law of correspondence reveals that our outer reality, our results, health, and physical appearance is a direct reflection of our inner world, including our beliefs, intentions, and, most importantly, our daily routines. Every small act we repeatedly perform mirrors our state of mind and, when accumulated over time, materializes into a visible and tangible outcome. Just as a pebble tossed into a pond creates ripples that expand outward, our habits and thought patterns radiate through our lives, shaping our bodies and circumstances. In essence, our physical, emotional, and even financial states are echoes of the patterns we consistently nurture within ourselves. Every area of our lives is a manifestation of what we believe, desire, and practice on a daily basis. A disciplined mind provides the fertile soil for cultivating productive and sustainable habits. For instance, an individual with mental clarity, focus, and a sense of purpose naturally reflects this internal order through their physical actions, structured meal times, regular exercise, and practices that enhance vitality. As a result, their body becomes a representation of this inner harmony, healthy, strong, and balanced. Conversely, a disorganized mind that easily succumbs to distractions and lacks clear priorities tends to foster detrimental habits. This mental chaos manifests physically as issues like weight gain, fatigue, and chronic health challenges. When internal discipline is absent, the tendency is to seek temporary comfort in habits like consuming processed foods, avoiding physical activity, or neglecting sleep. Although these behaviors may provide fleeting pleasure, they often lead to long-term physical and emotional deterioration. Take, for example, someone who frequently procrastinates, avoids exercise, and disregards the quality of their diet. Such choices reflect a state of internal disarray, which is then mirrored outwardly in the form of excess weight and ongoing exhaustion. As Aristotle wisely noted, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Each seemingly insignificant action, when practiced consistently, creates a profound cumulative effect over time. For instance, someone who dedicates just a few minutes each day to self-care, learning, or physical activity is planting seeds that, with time, will yield a rich harvest. To the outside world, a significant transformation may appear to be the result of a dramatic change, but in reality, it is the outcome of countless small, deliberate actions. Lasting transformation occurs when we recognize that success or failure is determined by the small daily choices we make. Even something as simple as drinking more water each day may seem trivial, but over months it can drastically improve a person's skin, energy, and overall health. This is the law of correspondence in motion. Small internal actions, beginning in the mind, manifest externally and bring about major changes in the broader scope of life. To alter external outcomes, whether related to the body, health, or relationships, we must first begin within, by transforming our thoughts and spirit. This is the true power of the law of correspondence. By shifting our mindset and cultivating beliefs rooted in discipline, self-care, and self-love, our daily habits naturally evolve to reflect this internal transformation. Over time, our external reality begins to align with this inner change. Those who possess clarity about their purpose and goals develop habits that support their aspirations. A strong, healthy body, a sharp mind, and a well-organized life are reflections of a soul that has discovered its reason for being and expresses it through intentional, consistent actions. By contemplating the law of correspondence, we begin to see that this ancient principle extends beyond abstract thought. It serves as a practical guide for living with greater harmony, authenticity, and intention. Applying this principle in everyday life helps align our internal state with the external world, fostering clarity, emotional stability, and well-being. Just as the universe organizes itself into rhythmic cycles and harmonious patterns, we too must seek balance within ourselves. At its core, the universe is like a symphony, and each of us represents a unique note resonating within the greater harmony. As we are internally, so is our external reality. Our thoughts, beliefs, and daily habits act as invisible threads weaving the fabric of the world around us. The law of correspondence reminds us that we are the architects of our own existence. Our consciousness is the clay, and our actions are the tools with which we shape our lives. Just as a tranquil lake mirrors the vast expanse of the starry sky, life faithfully reflects the energy we project from our soul. If we seek peace, we must cultivate calmness within. If we desire strength, we must nurture it through discipline. And if we wish to receive love, we must allow it to blossom within us as an enduring flame. Always remember, what we create internally is what the world reflects back to us. As above, so below. As within, so without. May every choice we make become a silent, purposeful prayer, reverberating across time and unveiling the highest version of ourselves. Thank you for watching.